Yo, what's going on, people? So in the previous video I recorded, which was my intro channel trailer, I was talking about my goals for the channel. I let it slip my way of eating, and you guys were asking what I meant when I was talking about living a ketogenic lifestyle. So what I'm gonna do in this video is explain to you guys what the ketogenic diet is, in addition to how I got on board with it and how it became my new lifestyle, my new way of eating. So basically, what keto is, in layman's terms, very, very simple. I'm not going to try to overcomplicate things with science. A ketogenic way of eating is high fat, moderate protein, a squeaky backyard door in the background, and extremely low carbohydrate. The best thing about the ketogenic diet is that it actually has a ratio for people who are really sensitive about calories and how many calories need to come from X, Y, and Z. It's 75% fat, 15 to 20, in some cases all the way up to 30% protein, and 5% carbohydrates. So when you're thinking about that right now, you're thinking, wow, that's really different compared to what most people were telling me how I should eat. They say I should get a balanced diet of protein, carbs, and keep your fats as low as possible. Yeah, it was a big surprise to me when I stumbled across it last September. So how I got into keto, it's actually kind of funny. Like most things in life, I just kind of stumble into them and fail upwards, I guess. I was getting ready to jump onto a new power building program, and I was watching this guy known as Brian Alzer, right? He's this guy who's really focused on strength, performance, and as I was watching his videos, going through the list, trying to absorb as much knowledge as I got, I stumbled across a video of him talking about his diet and what he needed to eat to maintain his performance in the gym. And as I was watching the video, he was talking about eating high protein, and he was talking about eating a lot of fat and putting butter in his coffee and coconut oil and all these things. And I'm just like, all right, that's interesting. I've never done that before. But one thing I noticed is that he was very heavy on the vegetables and he didn't consume carbohydrates at all. I was just like, whoa, this is weird. Is this like a cutting diet? And he was just like, nah, man, I'll consume carbs when I want to, but carbs for me are not really a necessity. And this dude is jacked. He's big as shit. He's putting up all these crazy numbers in the gym. So I was just like, hey, maybe I should try this. I was actually prepping to go on my year-long bulk. I was going to increase my calories to like 4,000 to 5,000. And I was curious to see about this way of eating. So I decided to drop my carbs really low. I started tapering them down from like 300 to 200 to 100 and then all the way down to 0, while increasing my fat by adding some butter to my meals and such. And what I noticed is that not only was I dropping weight gradually, but my mood started to improve and I started to become less hungry in between meals, which was a stark contrast to, the way of eating that I was before. I was still intaking the same amount of calories. I was intaking like close to 3,000, but I wasn't as hungry and I didn't feel as irritable. I didn't have to eat every 2 to 3 hours. So upon doing more research, I found out that I was doing what is known as the ketogenic diet, where it is high fat, moderate protein, and little to no carbohydrates. So I was like, whoa, this is freaking awesome, man, because one of the biggest problems that I had doing the traditional standard American diet is, just the heavy amount of carbohydrates, just the amount of inflammation that I would get out of the gym, all the aches and the creaks in the joints, and just some of the digestive issues that come with eating upwards of 500 carbs a day. I didn't like that, and then eating every 2 to 3 hours, it was just such a pain and such a hassle for me. And so when I found keto, I was just like, bro, this is the perfect diet for me because, it increases my mental clarity. I'm able to be more productive. I don't get those crazy carb hangovers and carbitis that you would get after eating a very, very high carbohydrate meal. And I just feel better. My mood is improved. And as I was learning more about the keto diet, like that's basically what it's for. This was a diet that was started, 100 years ago to help people with diseases, terminally ill patients who suffer from cancer. And the more and more I read up about keto and all the health benefits that come from it, I was just like, bro, this is exactly what I want to do. I'm freeing myself from having to eat constantly to grow and just everything that comes with it. It was honestly irritating for me, but I, in my thought process, thought, okay, this is what I need to do. I want to get big. I got to eat every 2 to 3 hours. I got to eat 6 meals. I got to pack it into Tupperware container. And so now that I'm doing keto and I've been doing it for 6 months, man, I love it. And the best part about keto, and I'm gonna do a whole separate video on this, is that now I am fully fat adapted. Like I can really transition in and out of ketosis, this state of just blissful euphoria. and I can introduce carbohydrates every now and then and get the benefits from them. And I've experimented doing things like cyclical ketogenic diet and the targeted ketogenic diet. I'll do more videos on those later. But as it stands, man, my way of eating is extremely low carbohydrates and literally just putting on heaps of fat, you know, just fatty meat, fatty protein, everything that has went against what the mainstream media has told me. And I know some of you guys who are watching this for the very first time, you're just like, dude, you're gonna give yourself a heart attack if you're eating, you know, whole eggs and bacon and, you know, coconut oil. Like, how in the world could you do this? Well, you know, it's funny because when you take out the carbohydrates from the equation and you just focus on the fat, fat is a better fuel source. You get more energy out of it. And when you take out the high carbs, you know, you don't gotta worry about the crazy insulin spikes and eating every 2 to 3 hours and just feeling irritable and cranky all the time. Like, how many people have told you when they're dieting, like on low carbohydrates, they feel fatigued, they feel just horrible, and just they can't deal with anything? You know, I've been on keto for 6 months, and I've only recently just started introducing carbs, like with a cheat meal every couple of weeks, and I've been just fine. My gym performance has been great. You know, I'm still making some muscle gains. And it's just awesome, man. I love this way of eating because it rewards me with so many things that I didn't have on the high carbohydrate diet. I was always tracking my macros. I was always worried of going over, and you know, if I don't work out hard enough this day, I'm not gonna use those calories and get the benefit out of those calories. And if I have a cheat meal here, it's gonna set me back for a week. When I'm on keto, I don't have to worry about that because my body is just a completely different beast, a completely different animal. Now, for those of you guys who are unsure about this diet, I will recommend a couple of people down below in the video description who do a lot better job of explaining the diet and its intricacies than myself. Two people I really want you guys to follow. Dr.Eric Berg, he's like the ketogenic guru for all of these things. He explains the science behind all those. Thomas Delauer as well, he approaches it more from a muscle building aspect in addition to talking about fasting. Both of them just have a wealth of knowledge, and they were the shepherds that helped me get onto the ketogenic diet. And the one thing that I want to do with this channel is really talk about keto and how it pertains to building muscle. Because while I love Dr. Eric Berg and his videos, you know, it's not really focused necessarily on the people who want to get swole in the gym, who want to gain muscle and push all these weights. It appeals more to the average Joe Schmo, and that's what the keto diet has been popular with. All the elderly people who are in like their 40s, 50s, 60s, who can't handle carbs anymore. So what I want to do with the channel is look at it from a young guy's perspective, you know, a guy who's about to turn 25 in a few months, doing keto, lifting in the gym, putting up these crazy numbers. I want to prove that it's possible for you to still have fun in the gym, get crazy pumps while having the weight progress and then get shredded at the same time if you want. That's what I aim to do with this channel. So yeah, you guys, that's a brief explanation of keto and how I got onto it. I'm probably gonna do, like I said, videos on CKD, TKD, in addition to my first time being on keto, like the transition process, because that's just an experience in and of itself. For now, my name is NGS signing out, and like always, I will catch you guys later. Peace.